What is going on, squad? Hope you are doing fantastic. So today, what I wanted to talk about was mental strength, right? And I don't know if you all have ever watched Mob Psycho. It's a very good anime. If you've never watched it, I highly suggest it. But the without giving too much spoilers, just in case you've never watched it and you want to, the whole idea is you have this kid. Shigeo is his name, I think. Haven't watched it anime in years, but Shigeo or just Mob, and he starts off as this timid kid, right? Starts off as this timid kid, and he grows through an arc of development throughout the whole series where he goes from timid to not the most outspoken person, but he becomes a lot more controlled in how he handles situations. All right, because there's a climax within the anime where stuff hits the floor, he goes crazy, and he has a hard time managing his emotions and stuff like that. He kind of goes into this craze at times, and at the end of the anime, it gets tense, but he learns to control his emotions, his mental state. And that is a huge sign of mental strength. Strength is the ability to exert a force with control. That's how I think about it. I don't know if that's a textbook definition, but that's how I like to think about it, right? Because look at weightlifters, for example, or powerlifters or strongmen, whatever. They're not just moving weights sloppily. Sure, they can, but they're strong not because they're just like legit like strong, but they understand how to move the weight in their specific sport, right? And it was the same thing with Shigeo, right? He understood how to control his power, and so his mental strength, he developed that over the series to the point where he could control his power, he could control his mental state so he would not go crazy, right? And this is a lesson that we can all learn because mental strength is very important if you want to be able to live a life that you genuinely want to live, if you want to be the best version of yourself. Because on this YouTube channel, I'm not just talking about fitness. I'm not just talking about mindset. I want to help you become the best version of yourself in general, right? And for me, the reason I'm so confident is because I do train my body. I do train my mindset, and I'm very connected with God, or I do my best to be, all right? And those are three things. And mental strength is a big part of the mindset piece, all right? And so if you want to be the best version of yourself and you are, a younger professional, young professional, right? Or any age really, but specifically young professional that's still working towards building to become the best version of themselves so that you actually feel confident in yourself, you've got to build mental strength for yourself, all right? And you might be wondering, like, Howard, how do I build mental strength for myself? How on earth do I flip and do that shiznix? The first thing you can do is learn how to pause between any action that happens to you and what you do afterwards, right? The reason I say that because a lot of people who don't have much mental strength, they just react super fast, which can be useful, right? Because there are some situations where you clearly need to act fast or life can be in danger. But for the most part, those who act like fast without thinking and don't have the mental strength to deny their emotions, it can turn out to be not so good for them because they are reacting off of emotion, right? And that can lead you to make a call you don't want to make, or that could lead you to do something that you're going to regret doing in the next year or two or the next day, right? That's what we want to avoid. If we want to be the best version of ourselves and be able to work towards an identity that we genuinely like, we want to learn to create space between when something happens to us and how we react, all right? Just take a pause, a quick breather, ground yourself. That's all you need to do. So that's one way to develop mental strength. Another way to develop mental strength is by asking yourself whenever something does happen, right? What can I do anyways? It's easy, right? What can I flip and do anyways? Because if you don't have much mental strength and you're acting on impulse, you're not asking, what can I do anyways? You're asking, well, you're telling yourself, I'm angry, I'm upset, this is dumb, this is stupid, all that shiznix, right? But if you take that pause and you ask, what can I do anyways? That shifts you from this aggressor to, there's something I can do about this. There's a change I can make. And that's true mental strength, because when you see that there's a change that you can make, then you start to see that you can take action on what you want to do, right? Life hits you hard. Somebody does something mean to you. Somebody tries to rile you up. You don't immediately try to attack them. You say, what can I do anyways? Maybe they're upset about something that they did and they're taking it out on you. And when you take that pause and you ask, what can I do anyways? It's a lot easier to recognize that, and then you can act accordingly, which will make you a better person, make them a better person, and increase your mental strength so that you're not allowing these outside influences to impact your inner world, to impact your own thinking as much, if at all, right? So those are the two methods that I like to think of when it comes to building mental strength, so that I can actually become the kind of person that is the main character in my life. So that I can become the kind of person that can be like, okay, this is the next thing I have to do. I'm living a life I want to live because I understand how to control my mental state, because I have the mental strength to not react immediately to my emotions. I have the mental strength to not let somebody make me mad because they're mad, or make me an aggressor because they're being aggressive, right? That's what true mental strength is. You don't need to be a David Goggins. He's got great mental strength, but mental strength isn't about just being aggressive. Mental strength is about understanding how to handle a situation in a way that's going to be productive for you and everybody else. That's true mental strength. Just like Mob and Mob Psycho, once he understood mental strength and he grew that shiznix, then he was able to become powerful and shift the situation without losing control, because he grew his mental strength over the course of a series. And you could probably look at other anime too, like Naruto. I'm gonna make another video about him and his and the Nine-Tailed Fox, but Naruto's been out for a long time, so I don't think I'm spoiling much at this point, but he went from not being able to control his inner demon, essentially, the Nine-Tailed Fox in him, to having complete control over it, or much more control, and now he's using that to enhance him. He develops his mental strength over the years of that series to be able to exert much more influence in his life to become who he wanted to become, which was the Hokage, and then impact other people in a positive way while still beating his opponents up, which is always a good part, you know what I'm saying? So that is true mental strength. So that's what I want you to think about, right? Before you go to bed today, think about that shiznix. One, creating space between when something happens to you and when you react, to enhance mental strength, and two, saying, what can I do next, instead of acting as an aggressor. That's also how you can create more mental strength, all right? So those are two things that you can do to increase mental strength so that you can become the main character in your own life. All right, squad? Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll see y'all in the next one. Till next time, peace.